Matthew chapter 12. The essence of Christianity, of following Jesus, is to think in a spiritual way. It's who we are when nobody's watching, which is the critically important thing. What we think of as we go to sleep at night, when we wake up, as we walk along a street, as we drive or as we travel on public transport, as we wait by a bus stop, it's the state of our mind or our heart. The Bible refers to the mind when it talks about the heart. That's what's so important. And so here in Matthew 12, Jesus says, "The good man out of his good treasure brings forth good things, and the evil man out of his evil treasure brings forth evil things. And I say to you, that every idle word that men shall speak, they shall give account of in the day of judgment. For by your words you shall be justified, and by your words you shall be condemned." This surely means that our words will, as it were, be quoted back to us at the day of judgment. There'll be, to some extent, in some way, a going through of all our lives. Well, I imagine that the meaning of time will be collapsed at the day of judgment, and if Einstein got it right, if you collapse the dimension of time, you collapse space as well. So don't worry about questions like how long will the judgment take, or how will we all fit in? Will we all have to wait in line? All those questions are quite primitive and unnecessary. The dimensions of time and space will be changed. But what is far more important to understand is that there will be a discussion with us of our words. You said this. You said that, didn't you? In our world, what you say is not really as important as what you do. And what you think is nobody's business, because nobody knows what you're actually thinking. But for Jesus, our words are so important. And why? Why is that? Because, as he explains here, our words reflect our thoughts, and our thoughts are so important to him. Because in the Bible, our thoughts, who we are in our hearts, are called our spirit. And God is interested in the things of the spirit, the things of the heart, not the external things. It's the heart that he's looking at, rather than appearances. This is why we need the Spirit of God in our spirit, to become what Paul calls spiritually minded. It's absolutely critically important. This is what it is to be a Christian. Paul later teaches that if any man have not the Spirit of Christ, he is none of his, Paul says. He doesn't belong to Jesus. And so here in Matthew 12, Jesus is stressing that our thoughts really do reflect in our actions and in our words. We can't think that we'll be clever enough to think one thing, but actually speak and act otherwise. No, in the end, our words and actions will reflect what we really think. So what's most important is the state of our mind, our heart, our spirit, however you prefer to describe it. That's why I suggest don't listen to worldly radio, music, songs, etc. Because it's garbage in, garbage out. You fill your mind with emptiness and images of the world and of the flesh. And if that's what you do, well, that's how you will become. Instead, listen to God's word. Listen to Christian music. Have spiritual images and ideas circulating in your mind. Because to be spiritually minded, that is what it is to be a Christian.